Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody at 6 o'clock, so we'll start right on time. Looks like we got 79 people who've made it in here this evening and rising, so hopefully people will join. Well, I'm Vincent Hayward. I'm the principal at Norton Middle School. To those of you new to the middle school, either new to the community or our grade 6 families, I'm joined tonight by our fellow panelist, Mr. Goldstein, my assistant principal.
Good evening, everybody.
Mr. Goldstein and I have been a tandem here at the middle school. This is our 7th year, our lucky 7th year. Each have been good, but none have been as challenging for sure. Definitely a challenge. Lots of hard work has gone in to get us to this point by our teachers, by the administration, all our staff, and by you, the families. It's a lot of hard work. I have a 7-year-old at home. So I've seen that end of it and the work that my wife has put into basically becoming a homeschool teacher. So in all the hard work and all the long nights and everything that we're going to lay out tonight, your kids deserve it. They've deserved every ounce of energy that has gone into this. And in thinking about my own daughter, my own family situation, that's really put the wind in my sails to keep going and really put forth the best effort I can. It doesn't mean it will be mistake-proof. It doesn't mean that there's a lot of learning to do along the way for all of us. And we'll have to adapt and overcome. We'll have to be flexible. And we're going to make the best of it and put ourselves in the best position to make tomorrow a better day all around. One of the things with Lancers Lead is one of our mottos here, which will continue to be, is to be respectful to each other, be responsible for our actions and effort, be kind to one another, and be better. Be better is about a growth mindset that we're open to criticism, we're open to improvement, with the goal that all of us can be better in some way. It could be as simple as being kind to someone else, or being responsible for something we've done or didn't do, and being respectful in all situations to all parties. So we'll continue to try to do that and make improvements. I've sent out a website the other day. Hopefully most of you got on that. I thought it would be a good way to guide the conversation tonight as we start out, hopefully to kind of answer some of the questions up front, but also realizing that as you get information, it might prompt some more questions from you. So we'll have time for question and answer at the end. There's an ability to do that where you type in the questions. Mr. Goldstein will help me field those. Ones we don't get to, we will look at on, over the weekend I will, and then on Monday, be able to get some of those answers out to everybody. So I'm going to start by sharing the screen and again, walk you through their website. The goal of tonight is to give you some information about the changes that are taking place in relation to COVID-19. Kind of a day in the life, what some of these changes will look like in a practical sense. For your kids, and then finally, to what degree it's possible, bring down the anxiety of the unknown that your kids might have, and all that kind of anticipation and nervous energy of getting back to something that we haven't done. I'll tell you, having been back and seen the teachers come back, it's like riding a bike. We're back into it here at the school. The teachers have worked tremendously hard, and I think our kids are going to respond likewise. I think they'll respond well. So here we go with the share screen. Okay, Mr. Goldstein, are we rocking and rolling here? Is it looking good?
Yeah, I think we're all good.
All right, okay. So welcome back. Norton Middle School, welcome back. First and foremost, if any kids are watching, welcome back to you. This is all about you, all the effort that's gone into it, all the preparation that we've done, and everything we'll do. All of this is about you, the kid. Everybody, your parents and us, we're all working to give you the best 6th or 7th or 8th grade year that you can have. And again, this will serve as something that you can refer back to, which is why I think it's good if you miss something. I tend to talk fast, not the best public speaker, what have you, but hopefully you could go back and at least know where that information was shown and you can get to it. Lots of drop-down menus. Those are all up here across the top. And then there's more that would come down the side here. So again, it's not just the one page, it's lots of like sub pages. One of the kind of themes this year, beyond Lancer's lead, being kind, being respectful, being responsible, and being better, is wear, wash, wait. Something that the high school is doing that we're gonna continue as a theme down here is wearing the mask, washing our hands frequently, being aware of our hands and where they've been and where they might go and not touching our face, and then waiting, just being patient. If you see a group of people, stop, wait, whether it's waiting your turn in the cafeteria line, which we'll go through, waiting to use a restroom. We'll go through a little bit of the process with that, or just giving space as you're boarding a bus or leaving a room or entering a room. And these are also samples of signs that we have throughout. Here's a little video that I did for the Principals Association, bragging about the great school that we have and the staff and students that I'm fortunate to work with. You can check that out. I won't play it. But it really covers what Norton Middle School is like under regular circumstances, which I look forward to us returning. We have a Meet the Administration page. Again, hopefully put in some names and faces without mask to the administration, myself and Mr. Goldstein. A video from Mr. Goldstein. Again, new kids can at least hear our voices. And down here is lots of interviews that I've done. The show is on the Norton Media Center with teachers, these are 6th grade teachers that your children might have. Specialist teachers, the art teacher here and band teacher, 6th grade math teacher, our fearless leader, Dr. Baeta, assistant superintendent, and a 7th grade teacher, and there's many more. There's a link up here, so you might be able to really make a connection and see some of your teachers prior to even coming to school. You want to check those out. And we even have some student videos that we've done in the past, little interview shows that we've done, all kids that have gone through the middle school, and had some pretty good experience with our clubs and activities, and we'll share that. Okay, moving on to student cohort. I hate that. One of the words I hate, new normal and cohort. I've had enough of those. But we're going to explain the cohort and groupings right here. So a quick summary, and again, I won't read everything for you. I'll give you a summation knowing that you've received the website and you can go back at your own speed and focus on what you want. At the middle school, we're divided into teams and content. Unlike the elementary school, our teachers have specialized licenses and certifications in science, for instance, mathematics, and social studies. So our curriculum is divided by content areas. We further follow a middle school model of best practice of dividing into teams. The whole teaming concept at the middle school is designed around creating small learning communities that really create safety, not necessarily in the physical sense, but a safe academic environment where kids feel free to, take chances, ask questions, make mistakes, and a small learning community where, hopefully few kids fall through the cracks and we're able to catch stuff relatively quickly with kids and intervene effectively. So it's really, in a typical circumstance, about 6 or 7 teachers working with the same 100 or so kids. So even though we have a great big building, one of the biggest buildings in Norton, it's really these small learning communities. We're able to maintain that and actually even expand upon it with this cohort model. Our building, the space itself, we're not going to have any one-way hallways or things like that. Our building has pods, so travel all around the building generally does not take place. Even before COVID, whenever students left their pod or team area, we always lined up and walked single file. That has been a practice that's been at the school, Mr. Goldstein, probably how long?
At least since this building's been open, so 22 years.
22 years. Okay, so that's been a well-established practice and just part of our procedures at the school for a long time. We'll continue with that. And again, we don't see crowding in the hallways as being an issue. Here's an example of our pod areas. This is basically where the kids would have their science, math, social studies, English, foreign language in grades 7 and 8 would all take place here. And when they leave this area, they would be walked single file down to lunch in the specials wing. To give you an example of a breakdown of the cohort so you can get an idea of how many kids will actually be in the building and why I'm very confident that we're going to be very effective at maintaining spacing, distancing, and creating a safe environment for staff and students. So if grade 8, for example, has 203 students, we then divide, under any circumstance, regular, pre-COVID or not, we divide that into 2 teams, the purple team and the white team. So in this case, 102 and 101 kids. At the time that I did this, we had 18 fully remote students on 8 purple and 12 fully remote students on 8 white. I haven't gone back to check down the latest breakdown of purple versus white remote, but that grade 8 number is now over 40 students. So you take them out of the mix. Now there's 5 different sections in grade 8, being a math, English, social studies, science, and foreign language subjects. So if you take that down 102, you remove, as you can see here, the 18 students. At that time, we would have 84 students left. And then you take that 84 and you break that out into cohort 1. Again, that's going to be cohort 1. Those students in cohort 1 would come to school in person on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They would do in-home learning on Wednesday and Friday, and all students are remote learning on Mondays. In cohort 2 is the opposite. They come in person Wednesday and Friday, and they're doing in-home learning on Tuesday and Thursday. So if you break that 84 here down in half by cohort, you roughly have 42 kids per. That then gets broken down into the different things, and you can see we're about 8 students or so per classroom. So we're going to have tons of space. We have one of the biggest buildings in the district already. Our grouping and spacing should be fine in the hallways. We've always done it. We have no bells at the middle school, so we've always changed with the idea of like subway cards. The kids would line up outside the door. One class would fully empty. Then the other students would come into that classroom. We're now just going to do it one class at a time. Likely one class will be the first to line up outside the next class they're going to, and it'll kind of be like a domino effect. So we're not going to just pour everyone out into the hall at once. There'll be 2 classes changing at a time. Now, as far as the cohort, typically at the middle school, under normal circumstances, you'd have your team of 100 kids, and every period you'd have a different mix of kids, meaning some kids might go from math to science, some kids might go from math, and then they might have social studies next. So you'd have this constant blending of kids. So, you wouldn't be with the same kids like an elementary model. You really get to know, different classmates and working with different people. And all those, I would say, we really start to ramp up the soft employability skills of being able to work with other peoples or a variety of people doing different tasks. So we really like that idea of blending kids and working in different groups and so on. Because of COVID, a lot of this we've turned back and kind of more closely modeled the elementary, and that the kids are going to be in small static groups the entire day, meaning the kids that they start first period with in math class, if that's what they have first, some might have social studies, they will remain with that group of kids throughout the entire day. So that group of 8 to 10 kids that you're with for math, that entire group will then travel to social studies, who then might next go to science. So we're staying in these small groups to aid in contact tracing and to limit exposure amongst the students. The students, one of the big questions at the middle school, will they be changing classrooms or will the teacher change? The students are going to change classroom. Again, those 10 kids will travel as a group and they will go from one subject to the next throughout the day. One of the key differences between elementary and middle level education, as I mentioned, was the content distinction with the classes. Science is one of the classes that kids really look forward to when they come to middle school. It's very hands-on. We have some great, fantastic science teachers also. And you just simply can't move beakers and everything else that might be in a hands-on activity, especially now because we're going to be provisioning multiple, group items when we do the labs just for safety. So we are going to have the students move, but we think we're going to have very, not crowded hallways. I don't think that's a problem. And we are going to be cleaning desks in between classes. Those will be done with wipes or with sprays, and they'll be wiped down. All these chemicals are on the Norton Public School website. They're all approved for use by students and staff, but cleaning 300 surfaces is something that's going to require staff and student participation. So you'll be able to check that out. That's how we're doing the cohort. So small static groups throughout the entire day, but they will change classes or classrooms. Okay, some safety protocols. Again, this will be up here. Some of this is just pointing you to where you'll be able to refer to this later in more detail and depth and at the speed that is appropriate for your level of interest, I guess. But we have that here, a safety protocols page. We talk about the verification of health. It's been a common theme of, responsibility. Lancersley, we talk about being responsible. Well, that goes to every student, every family, every faculty member, and every principal and assistant principal. The first responsibility is to our own health, which is why we're doing a lot of this. But being honest, if you feel sick, reporting it to your parent. If you're the parent, reporting it to the school. And there used to be a lot of bravery, I guess, or really a character trait that you would come to school and work through illness and tough it out and get the job done. At this point, we're going to ask people to take a step back from that. And if you don't feel well, stay home. If you don't feel well for an extended period of time, get checked out, go to the doctor. And then also communicate that to others so we can make sure that we're on top of any spread of this. And again, we want to prevent the spread of this so we can stay in school and we can move closer to normal. Mask and face coverings, those are going to be required in school. That's well publicized and documented. Here is the mask and face covering policy that the school committee approved. You can read it at your leisure in depth, again, at the level of interest that you have. There are behavioral expectations that you will wear the mask. Some of it will be educational with kids. We understand that. We'll explain to them why it's important to do that. But we've given, the district has provided the option for people to do remote learning. If they feel it's unsafe to be in school, if they have compromised health of their own or a loved one. So we've given that option. So I'm of the mind that if you're here, if you're on the train, you're on board with the hybrid model, with in-person learning and all that goes with that, including wearing the mask. We will have mask break built into the day, obviously at lunchtime. I'm encouraging a lot of, walking from specials or the lunch part of the building, taking an outside route, obviously escorted by teachers, and making space so you can safely take off the mask and get some. Again, we have big unit areas, and I think teachers are going, I've asked them to be very liberal in how much they utilize the mask break or giving those, because I haven't spoken with the mask on for, at length to teachers here in the building. It's tiresome. They're going to need breaks too. It will not be a teacher being a taskmaster, keep the mask on. They will need breaks too. So I think all parties involved are going to, have plenty of motivation to have the breaks. And I think it's going to be one of those things where taking the time to allow people to have the mask break, kind of recover from having that on, I think at the end of the day, you're going to have more quality time on task if we're all patient and allow ourselves the time to take breaks. Hand washing, we have sanitation, foot stations where you can press on the thing and get the sanitized hand gel throughout the building. And we've built in time around lunch for hand washing. We've kind of extended the lunch period itself and the time before and after. And again, as the principal, but have encouraged people to take their time in that and not be as worried about every single minute getting back to class, because I do think it's, one step backwards, two step forwards, perhaps. We have guidelines and there's links here again throughout the website. There's lots of links that really expand on some of these things, but COVID protocols. We have an isolation room at the middle school, happens to be attached to the nurse's office, but that can be closed off. We're really asking that everyone have their emergency contacts up to date, because if someone does or is exhibiting symptoms of COVID-19, they will fall into this protocol. And a key part of that protocol is to isolate quickly, but then also move out of the building quickly, either to the doctor's office, but definitely within the parents, the parent coming and picking them up and moving them out. And then that would be followed by cleaning the area and so on. Cleaning and disinfecting, as I spoke about earlier, we will be cleaning surfaces in between use. That would just be the students' desktops. And we kind of outlined that here. Our teachers are going to be developing protocols with the kids about how to do that, or in some cases, if they have 7 or 8 kids, just spraying it down themselves and wiping it down. But we are cognizant of cleaning surfaces in between student use throughout the day, and that will just mainly be the desk. Sorry, I have a little picture of me in the way. Okay, lunch and food services. So how will lunch be handled? We will be eating in the cafeteria and in the gymnasium as kind of a makeshift cafeteria. They'll obviously be distanced, but obviously have their mask off when they're eating. So the desk will be more than 6 feet apart. They will be facing in the same direction per the DESE guidelines. I talk about, as I speak about this, and I'm smiling and hey, we've done all the work and we've done all the stuff and I'm very confident. Believe me, I'm aware that I am not describing anything that is something that I'm, particularly proud of or looking forward to. I really do view lunch as a time where kids could socialize and do that. So there will be some ability to do that. You can hear a person's voice 6 feet away. We're not going to have it be, quiet as anything, but it will look different than typical lunchtime. It pains me, the impact that will have on kids, but we'll do the best we can, keeping everyone safe. And if we can have some interaction, we will have that, but we do have to stay within those guidelines. So they'll be 6 feet apart, they'll be facing, and what we're gonna actually use is the excess student desk that we're taking out of our academic wing of the building. So they'll be eating at a regular student desk placed in the cafeteria or the gym. All surfaces used during lunch will be cleaned before any other student sits at that same surface. We're actually going to have more than enough desks in those areas, so no one will be sitting at a surface without it being cleaned before someone else does. Information about our food service program. There's no charge for lunch through December 2020, or as long as this federal program holds out. So I guess whatever comes first, till it runs out of money, or December 2020. And that's for all students. Here's an example of some of the spacing signage that Mr. Goldstein put down in our cafeteria. So lunch service will still be on. Students can buy food or bring it as always. There will be, we're not gonna be doing snacks like we've done in the past. That could change as we get into it, but to start, we'll just be serving lunch. What will happen is that we'll be staggering our lunch times. So some students will come down, say for the white team at a particular grade level. They'll get served through the lunch lines, and then the first group down, will be seated in the gymnasium, in the seating with appropriate spacing. Once they're served and seated, staggered by about 10 minutes, will come the other grade level team, and they will be served and seated in the cafeteria. So that way we can not only have the cohort division that we have by the Tuesday, Thursday, and the Wednesday, Friday, but we're further separating and limiting exposure to many children, multiple kids, by maintaining that separation between the teams, okay, during the time of COVID. Under normal circumstances, I like the mixing of the teams because you're part of a larger community within the grade level. But for this time, we're going to maintain that separation between the cohorts, but also further between the teams. And then we break that down even further by having the small static groups of the 8 to 10 kids that are in your kind of class that will then move from period to period. And the only difference between that and an elementary model would be that we're going to change classrooms because of the nature of our curriculum and the specialized nature of our teachers. Also, we have different technology within our classrooms here, whether it be a smart board or a projector or different things that might make some of it difficult. But we're going to still maintain these groups even during lunch. So there's no worry there that they're going to all be thrown into a calf. And all this work that we did is going to be for naught. We maintain it during the lunch hour. Oh, and I'll have to check that out. I probably got to open that link up. That was just some more detailed information from Chartwell's about the food service model. So I will fix that link later. Student attendance. Just some general stuff, usually covered in our regular handbook. If someone is going to be absent, especially on an in-person day, you call that line. You can also call the nurse if there's a particular medical reason or information that you would like to share with us, particularly if it's COVID-related symptoms, or maybe it's not, and you want to make clear that it's nothing to do with that. You can do that. Student attendance on in-home learning days. This is a big question. What about when they're home? How will attendance be counted? Well, we are going to have attendance. Ms. McLean, our secretary here at the middle school, is creating her own daily attendance and announcements classroom. So all the students in cohort 1 will join her cohort 1 remote daily attendance and announcements Google Classroom. And each morning she will send out a Google form as an assignment in which students will log in and say, I think I have an example of what it would be. This is each morning that they are doing in-home learning. I am ready to learn and I am marking myself present for school, or I am not feeling well and will not be able to complete my assignments. This was just a draft. I can see the typo in there already, but I did it quick. Mrs. McLean is really running this show. Be something similar. I am marking myself absent today. So you might be home and unable to participate. Maybe you're really sick and you're going to lie down, or as a parent, you say, no, you need rest. And you want the teachers to be aware that you're going to mark yourself absent even on an in-home day. So that's why your assignments weren't done. This will generate, if a student doesn't do that, because we're going to mark them in school brains, an automated call. I imagine at the outset, a kid here or there might forget to do this, and you'll get a call that they're not at school, either in home learning or actually in school. And then they'll just submit that. And so we are going to track the attendance, that they're up at 8:30. I know that was a big thing in the spring. Kids tending to sleep later, but we want them up at 8:30 because, again, every other day they're coming. So building a routine of waking up, taking responsibility for your learning, whether it's getting yourself ready to school, having yourself prepared to learn in school in that setting, or being up on time, having your materials, your Chromebook, your learning space set out at home, whatever it is, and being responsible for your learning at home. So we want that to take place. And again, build that routine of, a sleep schedule, a lunch schedule, day to day, which I think in the spring suffered a bit. And then potential cases, again, I just put more information about the isolation room and protocols. And again, there's lots of links here that I encourage you to explore in depth when there's more time. NPS, tons of information has gone out from the district. This will take you directly to some of those things, whether it's questions about, what's in what type of sanitation spray are you using? What are some of these reports on the air quality, different things like that? What are some of the scenario plans, and so on? This will link you right to that page, kind of make it a little more one-stop for you. And again, a treasure trove of information related to tons of technical questions you might have. Okay, arriving and departing school. So when school begins next Wednesday, September 16th, Cohort 2 students will be arriving in person. Cohort 1 students will be or will have already received Google Classroom invitations, and Cohort 1 students next Wednesday will have in-home learning assignments they should begin working on. And they will get that through Google Classroom. And they should have been getting invitations or will be over the coming days to join the teacher's classroom or a team classroom, which will link them to assignments. And don't worry, any problems, they're going to see us the very next day, Thursday, and it'll all be brought up to speed. But when you do arrive next Wednesday in person or Thursday in person, school hours are 8:30 to 2:57 p.m. All parent drop-offs, so if you're dropping off by car, all the drop-offs take place over by the tennis courts and the gym side. I point that out specifically because I'm about to scroll down and show you a map that shows a variety of different entrances into the building. I think that's my daughter's school calling. Okay. Probably something they're sending out. Sorry about that. So there's going to be a map that's going to have all different entrances. This is where students will walk to enter the building. Again, we put a lot of work and energy and at a tremendous cost to, the things that we like about school, which is social interaction, seeing our friends. So it's come at cost. So we don't want to just blow it and just have everyone piling in through one door. So the doors are going to be where students walk to enter, not where parents, find the closest spot to drop off. So it's still, please drop off by car by the tennis court. Don't drop off prior to 8:20 a.m. If you do get here, that's fine, park, but at 8:20, let them out. And then we're going to have people to man the doors. One of a big concern is we can't just have all doors swung open to a school. There are many things still going on, and the safety of students beyond the coronavirus is still our concern. So I'm very cognizant that I want every door manned and supervised by an adult, and I need to get people positioned and ready to go at a host of entrances. So at 8:20, let them out of the car or plan for drop-off around that time. And again, I kind of break that down up here, give the rationale as to why we're doing that. If you do arrive after 8:35, you will enter through the main door. At that point, we shouldn't have any crowding or teams going through that door. So after 8:35, everyone enter through the main door. But between that, and again, you'll reference this depending on your child, the circumstances, what grade level. 8 purple students will enter through the front door. They'll go down the ramp of the school right into their unit. 7 purple will go through the side door here. 6 purple and 6 white students, grade 6, are going to enter through the bus entrance. It's one entrance, but it's very big. It actually has 3 sets of double doors, so 6 doors across it. We're going to have the 6 purple enter this side, stay in their stairwell all the way up to their unit, which again, no one will be on that staircase except 6 purple students. At that time of day, when they're entering, the direction will be up. So there's no need for different directions or up and down staircases. We have 2 staircases, only 6 purple will be on this, they'll go up. And 6 white, the same thing over here. 8 white, all right, you got the fitness program here because you're gonna be making the long walk right over the nurse's office, nice and healthy. You're gonna-
A lot of steps.
Yeah, you're gonna walk and have to enter all the way down here by the white, 8 white, kind of by the back of the building. So you'll enter here. Extremely heavy rain, different things. We'll game plan that. We'll make that. We understand it's only about 40, 45 kids coming in. We'll grab you over here by the door. We'll come up with something, but as a standard plan, I don't want to put up, if it, 10 raindrops falling, we're going to enter here, 50 here. We'll game plan that, but unless otherwise noted, 8 white students are going to walk all the way around, even if they're dropped off here, and enter over here. But we need some activity. That's going to be fine. So you'll enter this. So that's the drop-off and pickup map for anyone new to the school. Our buses kind of come in and go to the right. They have kind of this bus drop-off loop. All drop-off cars go this way. There's arrows down, and we kind of make the flow go that way. So please take a look at that. It'll help relieve your anxiety coming into where am I dropping off. Supply lists have gone out. No, I have received some questions about the binders and things like that. The teachers kind of developed these. So, and they're the same per grade level, but there are some differences between the grade levels, so you can check those out. We do have extra supplies. If you don't have something first day, don't worry, no one's gonna tag you. There's no grades assigned to this. Just do your best, fully understanding that these went out late, as we were all adapting to what school would look like in September 2020. Additional impacts of COVID-19 on NMS that just didn't fall into any particular category. The schedule rotated in the past. Now, again, I told you they're going to be small, very static. Students are grouped in small static cohorts, and they're going to remain there for the entire day. Norton Middle School, I used to be a high school principal, really turned into like a miniature high school. We had 15 different clubs and activities. We competed in the Massasoit League, over 14 different schools that participated in cross-country, soccer, basketball, baseball, softball, interscholastic sports, getting on buses, all the things that, parents, you think back and you remind you of high school. We were doing that at the middle school level. As of right now, the league has canceled the fall season, but as a league, which is run by principals, we are exploring the possibility of moving soccer and cross country into the spring season, or kind of an alternate flex season. So hopefully not done, but for the fall, we've canceled those seasons. And then we've held off on any decision on winter and the winter season at this time. Above grade level math in 7th grade. We started, that was the first class that we leveled in Norton, was when we get to grade 7 math. This year, we did not level grade 7 math. Just for those who might be upset by that, that consequence or circumstance or decision. Above grade level math is not related to whether there's always kids who are better at math than others, or better at art or better at basketball. So there's still a realization here that there are kids who are better at math and have an aptitude toward it, and we do want to explore that and build on that. But above grade level math is really where a student stands in relation to the grade level curriculum. And as the principal, I was hard pressed to think that we had sufficient number of students after only having 2/3 of a year in 6th grade. And at this time, 40% of the year of in-person learning heading into this year, that anyone was truly above grade level. I think everyone is going to be at a point of needing some remediation. This will kind of be a multi-year task to kind of get back up to speed on this. The grade 8 program and above grade level math will continue. So there's no change to above grade level math. And foreign language in grade 7 used to consist of Spanish and French. Because of staffing issues, we've had to eliminate Spanish in grade 7 for this year. It will continue to be an option at grade 8. Students in grade 7 instead will have French and reading. So a semester of each of those. I think all students will benefit from that extra time in reading and kind of an English language arts block. And so again, those are some impacts beyond that. Further down, again, just to not get too much in, but if you want to be able to share this, there are some videos on here that teachers made welcoming the kids. I know that part of it is like getting an idea of what it will be like or who my teachers are. Grade 7 has some. This is a great one. I put it on Twitter the other night. Our 7th grade teachers made this. You can check that out. I encourage you to do that. I'm going to not play the videos to allow us some time for questions soon. But there are plenty of great videos where you can check out the teachers, and encourage you to do that. And that's at all grade levels. some of our decals that will be in place. Our breakdown of our schedule. The course offerings are here. Again, this will break down that French, Spanish reading thing that I talked about and some of our program of study stuff. And then some of the typical stuff I included on here are what, we will return to. This is not the new normal here. This is the now, not the future. So we look forward to getting back to what makes us exceptional. And so I did include some of that stuff here to give kids an idea, especially those new to the school, what we will, or, the direction we're heading as we all, as a school, as a town, as a state, and a country, get beyond this and move past this. So some more in-depth stuff, but I do want to allow time now for some questions if they're coming in. I can't see the questions myself. I'm going to stop sharing this. Well, Mr. Goldstein, maybe I want to invite you in now for some questions if we've got any.
Okay, Mr. Hayward. Yeah, we have several. We've answered several, but we definitely have quite a few here. So I'm going to kind of lump a couple here together that I think are, somewhat relevant. So, so one of the questions that was asked is, if I have a child who has a runny nose, that sort of thing, and out of abundance of caution, they stay home. Where normally they might have just toughed it out, gone to school, which, we've all done that sort of thing in the past. Is there an option for them to participate in classes in a remote fashion rather than having to take a sick day? So that's part of the question. And then there's also, the other part of this, which is, what happens if someone gets tested for COVID and are in quarantine until they get a negative, are they in quarantine until they get a negative test, or are they, quarantined for 14 days? What work will they be given to do during that time period?
Well, let me take the first part of that. Like, they have a runny nose, you want to keep them home. We're not going to be necessarily have a way to like Zoom them into the class on a given day. To be honest with you, my hope is that on an in-person day, we have little computer use, and maybe the lesson isn't designed around a Chromebook. We've been doing Chromebooks here at the middle school for years. Really, this was nothing tremendously new to us. But I really think that the teachers are of the mind, as the principal, I'm of the mind, if we get kids in person, I want us to focus on those things that make in-person good, just the conversation that might take place in a classroom and different things like that. So I don't know if on the fly, like runny nose that morning, contact the teacher, that the lesson will necessarily be adaptable to an in-home learning thing. That being said, like any other time at school, if you're sick and you're out, you're allowed to make up the work without penalty, without consequence, without, points off. And so we would just go about the normal process of making up work because you were homesick. And there are prior to COVID, we had many kids who would be out sick. And chances are a lot of kids will be out sick this year, not related to COVID, in which the absence, the makeup work would just be normal circumstances. But the teachers are creative, so it could surprise me. There could be ways that they're doing that on the fly. And where the lessons are posted in Google Classroom, whether it be a sheet or something to read or a video, I do think the student would be able to do that because, a great deal of it is, even if it has an in-person element, there are underlying pieces that do get posted. I'm sure the kid would have full access to that. As far as if there is a quarantine situation or suspected case, there's detailed protocols. Again, those are up on the website. But if you do have to go get tested, at that point, you're kind of a suspected case. You'd have to get tested and get a negative test and show us that before you return, or you'd have to stay out of school the 14 days and kind of do that kind of self-quarantining. If you do get tested positive, obviously we need to know as soon as possible, at which point it would trigger all of our protocols, which I'm not going to include in this answer here, but they're protocols, they're details, they're reviewed, built off of guidance from CDC, from DESE, and then, developed and really studied here at how we'd apply them at the Norton Public School level. but we'd have to start our contact tracing. And again, that all feeds back into all the work that we've done with separating our students into these small cohorts. And even to build on that, or just to jump off, one of the things about those small cohorts, the seating chart for every classroom. So if two kids sit next to each other in math and a kid sits next to another kid, that seating, relationship is going to be the same class to class. Now, again, not excited to tell kids you're always going to be sitting next to the same kid. You're not going to have that variety of that, but that's why we did that, to help with contact tracing. So I hope that answers your question. You would have to get tested. A negative test or one of these rapid tests would get you back into school quicker than the quarantine for 14 days.
So we have some more questions. Two of the questions that are kind of related is, will the kids know who is in their small group before the first day of school? And there's also another question that was, will kids get a schedule before the first day?
Kids will not necessarily know who's in their class. We're not publishing a class list. Kids, can kind of figure it out. What period do you have this or that, and they'll do that. We are looking to get, while we have homerooms have been posted in School Brains for our grade 6 families, those were mailed. If they haven't arrived, they should be arriving soon. That will tell you what homeroom and team, which again feeds back to what entrance you'll go through and what room you will go up to during the day. But we are endeavoring to get schedules, the actual block schedule posted, which would show when you have math, when you have social studies, what time lunch is. And again, lunchtime is any time between 11 in the morning and 1:30 in the afternoon. So it's hard for me to say this is what time lunch is at Norton Middle School. It differs grade level, by team, and even day to day. There's a little fluctuation. But we're looking to get that up, and they may know that. They may be able to figure it out, but no list of who's in your class.
So one of the questions they have that is up here is, will the teacher teach the same curriculum to the kids in school days, and the kids will work on the same curriculum on those remote days, or will the kids work on the same assignments on the same days, either in school or remote?
I would say that would likely vary, and it would be hard for me to give that 100% answer either way. In some cases, it could be the same lesson. Monday, the remote lesson will be the same. It's everybody in that group together. But on Tuesday, a teacher might be doing a totally different thing, because an in-person learning experience and teaching experience should be different than one that's done, in your living room. I suspect the in-home learning thing might be either previewing material that the teacher then might expand upon and further explain, or reviewing material where the teacher did something in class, you practice the skill, or built confidence in the content area, what have you. So you practice you learn the skill in school, and you're doing the practice the following day at home. So I don't have a definite answer for that, but I'll tell you, I can tell you with 100% certainty, it is not going to mirror day to day all year. There could be times, but it should probably be different.
So this is more of a kind of nuts and bolts question. It says, is there no live contact with anyone on the first day of school if you are in cohort 1?
There is no live contact if you're in cohort 1 on Wednesday, September 16th. What you will see on in-home learning days is the teacher is going to make a video. The technical term is asynchronous learning, in which you're going to have the teacher's voice. They're going to come on and create a video, maybe describe like, hey, the Google assignment today is you're going to watch this video and then answer the questions that are in the Google Classroom. After you do that, be sure to hit submit or comment on a friend's posting or whatever it is. And they will do a verbal review of the agenda go over some of the mastery objectives or the learning targets of that particular lesson, or they could possibly model, like I'm gonna, we're gonna do a long division problem. They have a document camera, which kind of records their hand doing the problem. And so it's gonna be that type of stuff where they do see video, have kind of that type of connection to their teacher. The real connection between the in-home learning that's gonna take place now compared to the spring is that that learning is then gonna be following day, or on the next school day is in person, in which you do have the teacher talking about it, either not only the content, but the student's actual work, because they would have submitted it, and they're going to get the feedback. So the feedback loop in learning is going to be reestablished now that we're in a hybrid. That was the real thing that was missing. Kids are so tuned into quick feedback, whether from video games and, hey, I did this, now I'm going to hit the reset button and we're back to it, and they get that quick feedback. But kids nowadays are used to getting feedback very quickly, whether they're doing something right or wrong. In the spring, that was a huge element that was missed. I'm excited, even though we're in a hybrid model, that we're going to reestablish that. So it's not going to be a live person that day. I've given a long answer because that saddens me. I want us to be back in school, and I want that connection.
So we still have some more questions here. And so these two are somewhat related. So can you please explain how the schedule works on remote days, and how do they know which class is when? And then somewhat related to that is, can you go over the parent choice remote schedule? Do the instructions and links come with the homeroom letters?
Okay. So the remote learning schedule, let me say the in-home learning schedule for the hybrid, so as not to confuse the parent choice remote. So in-home learning schedule for the hybrid would be, let's stop the share there. They're gonna log in and do the attendance piece that I spoke about, where they go to Miss McLean's Google Classroom and say, I'm here, I'm ready to learn for the day. They submit that. They then they're going to be in their teacher's Google Classrooms. There will be assignments. They can follow their schedule as far as, okay, I typically have math first. I'm going to work on my math assignment first. All their assignments for the day will be in there. So they can follow the suggested schedule, but there is no, Zoom meeting that starts on their hybrid day at 10 that they have to be at. That's not what that is. While everyone has heard about hybrid, for the teachers, they're here every day and they have students in front of them. While your child's home on their in-home learning day, our teachers are here in the classroom working with kids in front of them. We're not going to be, we don't have necessarily the hardware to like live Zoom people in, and it's not part of our model. I want our teachers, when they're here or with kids in front of them, I want the kids who are in school that day to have 150% of that teacher's attention and focus. Because the days in person are very valuable. But that means that they can't be doing two things at once. They can't be over here checking on this and doing that. It just wouldn't work in a practical sense. But they will, the schedule they can follow, I mean, some will be based on the work. Some kids might move through their social studies quicker than their math lesson, and their math might deserve or demand more time on a given day. But all of their assignments will be in there at the start of the day, and they're to work on those, and take the appropriate lunch breaks and so on. Now, the Monday portion of that, the remote Monday, is different. There is a synchronous portion to that, in which they do have a class that starts at a certain time, and the teacher will be live on Mondays in your living room from their home or from their classroom here, teaching an actual lesson where a student can ask a question in a chat, or even just, live time ask a question. So the Monday is a synchronous model in which they're doing something over a meeting like this that we're on now, and they're giving instruction, and teaching learnings taking place live. There is a schedule set up like that. It's a half-day schedule for the kids. So their classes will run from roughly 8:30 to 11:55. They will have short classes. In grade 6, I believe they're 36 minutes, and in grade 7 and 8, they're about 28 minutes long. They include all the subjects, followed by a lunch break, followed by afternoon, in which till about 3 o'clock, 2:57, they'll have assignments to work on that were either, discussed in the morning part of the class during the live sessions. That schedule will be given to them. And again, there's also examples of that on the website that I reviewed earlier. I don't want to get into the share screen because I know there's lots of questions, but it's up there and it breaks down minute by minute on Mondays where they should be. The other part of that question was for the parent choice remote. On Tuesday night, there's information. The parent choice remote is being referred to as the NMS Distance Learning Academy. That is run through a program called Edgenuity. It does not involve necessarily synchronous learning, to my knowledge, although that's evolving. Like I said, we follow the Be Better model, and if things can evolve to be better, it will be. But there is an entire teaching staff associated with that program. So there will be teacher interaction to help aid in teaching and learning, but it is different than if we were all forced to go to remote, and it's different than the Monday remote learning in the hybrid model. Information on that can be found on the district website, and I will also send out to all families, but if it doesn't pertain to you, you can ignore the email, but I'll send out an email with a link to the meeting that's going to take place next Tuesday evening for the Remote Learning Academy, or the Distance Learning Academy.
Thanks, Mr. Hayward. We have 3 more questions that are all connected, which are all having to do with remote in some capacity. So the first part of the question is, for remote days, do kids log into homeroom or just go straight to the first class of the day? And then the next question, both relate to office hours and teachers. So do teachers have office hours for students who have questions on the remote days? When would their questions be answered? And how do students reach someone on remote days if they need help?
Okay, on the remote Monday, they will get live interaction with their teacher in the moment. And our teachers, to dispel anything, are and have been working very hard and will be working 5 days a week, full days. The hybrid does not pertain to them per se. They're here with kids, answering questions, and their office hours, they have hours and time after school that they're constantly answering emails and checking email. Again, if a student at home in the remote emails a question at 11 or even 9 in the morning, they might not get a response right away, because my teacher's attention and focus 150% is on the kids in front of them. The kids in front of them and your kids, or that kid on the opposite day, deserves the same, their attention in person. The question could be answered the next day live, or most teachers will answer it as quickly as they can, because they want the kid to have the information to complete the task or move on. Ronnie, what was the other part of that question?
So the other part of that is, do students who are remote, do they report to a homeroom?
Okay.
Yeah, I believe that's what it was.
Yeah, on the remote Monday, they will likewise get the daily attendance from Miss McLean's Google Classroom, which will be when you're at your house, you're doing your daily attendance by filling out a form that says, I am attending school today. I have everything I need to learn, and I'm ready to learn. So anytime you're at home, you're doing that through a Google form, through a Google Classroom that our teachers are going to walk you through to join. Don't worry if Wednesday morning you're not in that Google Classroom yet. We're going to get you set up. When you come in, if it's not able to happen because you didn't see the email or you didn't get the invite, we'll straighten it out the next day you're in person. You spend a lot of time getting people comfortable with that process. And as far as when they come to school, they'll go to their first period and they'll have attendance taken. All of this, the Google form and the in-person attendance will be merged into your attendance record that will be in our student information system.
So, Mr. Hayward, I think also one of the things that, was mentioned by one of the teachers is that it sounds as if teachers have office hours a couple times a week, I think is also as a part of that, where students can get questions answered. And obviously email, as you mentioned, is probably the number one way that, students get a hold of teachers. So,
Yeah. I mean, office hours sounds like such a college thing. In the middle school, your office hours are in the hallway, walking on lunch duty, kid comes up after school, you're at a bus duty, they ask you a question. It's really all the time, and the questions come in all the time. You get questions all day, get emails all day, and you answer them as quickly as you can. In regards to that question, I'm envisioning it not as a question. I mean, I teach us constantly getting back to kids fielding questions. It's what we do. But I didn't want to give anyone the impression that a kid's stuck on something at 10 at home, that question is going to be answered. At some things they might just have to move on to their next class or assignment, or, send the question for sure. But, it's not going to be as instant that, it can solve the kid's problem in the moment, or in a time frame that's relative to the assignment in the moment.
So one of the questions we have here, Mr. Hayward, is relates to what if a student comes down and diagnosed by our school nurse here as having COVID, because our guidance has been that students need to be picked up within a 30-minute time frame. And so the question is, what if someone is at work and they need to come from work and they are more than 30 minutes away? How is that process being handled?
Yeah, not too bad. No, I mean, if you're on your way and we've got it, and we've got the isolation, and we've not having gone through this, but I feel like we've put a lot of time and energy. If it's 35 minutes, if it's 40 minutes, it just can't be, well, I can't get there, he's going to take the bus home. That's off the table as a thing. If I'm in contact with you, you hit traffic, I'm a person, you're a person, I understand. Life happens to me too. But if you're on board, you're on your way, and we have a plan together, the school and the parent, that you're coming, I would much rather hand the child off to you than call up your parent or a grandparent who could be in a vulnerable population just so I get them out in 30 minutes. We're concerned about everyone's health and safety. But please understand, we do want to get that student out of our isolation room, take care of that element of it, make sure that they're getting to where they need to get tested or what have you. And then we do our cleaning protocols and then our contact tracing. And then obviously it kicks up the ladder to my boss, Dr. Baeta, and his protocols to see what impact that has on everybody else.
And so a couple of other just nuts and bolts questions. Is Cohort 1 doing anything on the first day?
Cohort 1 is doing stuff. Some of them have already received invitations through their school email, so they should be checking their school email now. I included that in some emails that I've sent home recently. I'll continue to do that, no problem, I get it. That they should check their emails, because they'll get an invitation through email to join a Google Classroom. Once in the Google Classroom, they'll have assignments, and we expect that students will participate on Wednesday, Cohort 1 students, Wednesday, September 16th, in some in-home learning that will be assigned by the teacher. And again, would include a video by the teacher outlining, what they want the student to do on that given day for the assignment on day 1, or in preparation for when they do come into school. Some units are sending out one invitation to, one team is sending out a single invitation to all the students in Cohort 1 on that team to join, Team 6 White Google Classroom. And from that classroom, they're going to have all the individual teachers' assignments just to get them up and running on the first day. The first day for Cohort 1 of school, September 2020, is an in-home learning day.
And the last question we have in the box is more of a nuts and bolts question, and is, will there be assigned seating for lunch?
Assigned seating for lunch. Well, seating will be assigned by cohort, 6 feet apart, facing in the same direction. Now, what the kids want to know, do I get to sit next to my friends? Well, we're going to start by keeping you with that cohort and with that kind of sub-cohort of the 10 or 12 kids you're with in your classes. Okay, a lot of work and a lot of energy has gone in to intentionally and by design keep separation and distance. I smile when I say that because there was a lot of work to meet these guidelines. At the same time, I'm saddened because I take no pleasure in having to separate you guys during lunch. If we're able to talk with loud voices and it's a little bit noisier because people have to kind of project their voice, totally fine with that, okay? But we just got to make sure we're not shouting. Obviously, that's going to spread stuff more, but I mean, you can talk to someone 6 feet away from you. But yeah, the seating is going to be somewhat assigned. I'm sorry to say that. But you know, after lunch, hopefully, and again, I'm encouraging teachers when the weather's is good, pick them up, walk them around the building twice, then make your way back up to class. Give yourself space. You know, you can walk 6 to 8 to 10 feet apart from somebody outside with your mask off and talk. It's not it's not what school should be. It's what school needs to be right now.
And that's really it, Mr. Hayward. I don't have any other.
I don't believe
wait
it.
a second. Oh, I spoke too soon. I spoke too soon. I shouldn't have
I don't
said
believe
it. It says, on in-person days, confirming that the 6th graders bring Chromebooks back and forth.
Yeah, at Norton Middle School, good question from a 6th grade parent. At Norton Middle School, students travel back and forth with their Chromebooks every day. During COVID and even before COVID, this is how we've always done it. The Chromebooks go back and forth. One thing that you should do in your house is have a designated space where students charge that Chromebook. The Chromebook does not need to be charged during the day at school if it arrives with a full charge. The batteries last a real long time. Our grade 6 family are getting brand new Chromebooks that came in unexpectedly early, which was great news. So we didn't have to issue you old Chromebooks. You're going to get brand new Chromebooks, so the battery is going to be great. But every night, get into a habit of having a designated spot where you charge that Chromebook and you're taking it back and forth every single day. Again, at the middle school, we've been one-to-one with our students for over 4 years. Kids rarely forget the Chromebooks. They want to have these things on them. They're useful to them in class and they like the technology. So it really hasn't been too much of an issue that kids won't bring their Chromebook. Imagine they might get the same feeling I get when I think I lost my wallet. Oh, where's my phone? Where's my phone? I better call my wife and make sure I have it. Wait, I don't have my phone. So they want to have the phone with them. I mean, the Chromebook. They definitely want the phone with them. That's a whole different thing. One thing I didn't mention to the people still on is that we're not doing lockers to start. There are no lockers at the start of the year. 6th grade question kind of reminded me, because I know 6th graders look forward to lockers. At the start of the year, we're not going to have lockers. I felt that was something that, without the winter coats at the outset of the year, and I just, as the principal, I have some very talented teachers, good leaders here. I didn't want to take that on without their input and insight and see how we actually move throughout the building. My hope is that we are able to bring back lockers, one, because we have massive hallways. Now that I see, 3-4 weeks later, really the number of kids that we're going to have, I think we're going to be able to do that, but I want to plan with my staff, the people who kind of implement all these grand plans that we come up with down at the main office, but also develop them too, but do a lot of the implementation. But they won't have lockers initially. Typically, that's where phones would go. So phones can come, but they stay in the lockers. So we still don't allow phones out in the classroom, but we're aware that kids will have them on them, that most even middle schoolers have phones, and they're a vital part of family communication before and after school. So it's not like a total ban, but we want the phones to be away during teaching and learning in the backpacks.
Actually, I had a student question, Mr. Hayward, that just came in.
Oh, okay.
And so we want to definitely make sure we address that.
Good
So a student asks, where will we keep all our supplies if we don't have lockers?
Okay. a good backpack to start. Pockets are always good, except the pencil in the back pocket, not a good idea, but definitely the backpacks to start, where you'll keep your supplies. I think when we get back in a lot, we issue less textbooks than we've done in the past. I know on the supply list, so point out there's been a lot of binders and different things. That could be to build a portfolio of work, so maybe that doesn't have to be transported. Maybe teachers might find some locations in their room where kids can keep stuff if it becomes a lot. Again, that'll be class by class or a team decision, but you'll have to carry it. But our goal is to get kids into lockers. I just want to see what this looks like at full speed and utilize the talent and knowledge of my staff first.
So we currently have no questions in there. Of course, every time I say that, another one pops up.
Mr.
But I had a question. I had a question that I feel like we should address, Mr. Hayward, because
Okay.
people are seeing us in some cases for the first time since March. So I'm sure people want to know about our hair. So I was just curious if you would like to comment about our current hair.
I'll comment about your hair. I like your hair. I like the flow. It looks like hockey hair. I know I have the Cohen boys, great students that came through here, always working on their hockey flow. So they're not at the middle school anymore, but yeah, you got some good hockey hair going on, Mr. Goldstein. I like it. And I lost my flat top. I had my flat top since 1992.
I was going to say, for the first several years we worked together, it was nothing but, the longest I saw that hair was about 2 inches, I think. So
yeah,
it's definitely gotten up there. And for me, I haven't cut my hair since January. So we'll see what happens.
Hey, it is. There are lots of consequences to COVID-19. We've either done an excellent job or a tremendously horrible job at tonight, because I can't believe we got through questions, but I'm sure more will come. So please look at the website that we've sent out. Have questions, contact us and ask them. Know that we will all adapt. Teachers, students, administration, and parents will be flexible where we need to be flexible, and we'll evolve and be better every day. At Northern Middle School Lancers Lead, we do that principle to the new 6th grade student by being kind to one another, being responsible for our actions, effort, and our attitude, being respectful of one another at all times, and being better, finding ways to be better. Being better isn't bragging, although we have a lot to brag about here at the school, from our staff to our awesome students and the different things. Being better is an acknowledgement that there's always room for improvement. And that's what drives myself. But the biggest thing that really drives me, for the parents still remaining, is I'm a parent, and I want my daughter's principal, and Mr. Goldstein wants his daughter's principal. I hope they're working as hard as we are, because my daughter Gianna deserves it. My wife's been an amazing school teacher. I think she should have been a school teacher, actually. Haven't seen her perform at home. So I know everyone's doing a lot here. So check out those resources, ask questions, know that we're always trying to be better, and we'll continue to do so. So have a great one. We look forward to seeing you. More stuff will be coming out over Monday, Tuesday to get us ready. And kids, check those emails for those Google Classroom invites. Be well, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Goldstein.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.